Hey guys, how's it going? Hope everybody's all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the huge fight taking place this weekend between Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter. So hit the like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I would really appreciate that. This is a very interesting and intriguing matchup. You have the classic boxer versus brawler. You know, the matador versus the bull. Terence Crawford, boxer puncher. Shawn Porter, he's a pressure fighter that can box as well. Crawford's a boxer that can fight, so this makes for a very interesting matchup. Like I say, both these guys like to fight, so this could end up being a brawl and just turn into a classic, you know, one of the all-time classics. There is the possibility for that. I think this is a great fight. Now, how I think it's going to play out, I think Crawford should try and come out and try to keep the fight at a distance, use his jab, use his reach, use his, his footwork and movement, try to keep Shawn Porter on the end of his jab. Look to counter punch Shawn Porter when he, leaps in, lunges in with those hooks that he throws from the outside. Try catch him and try get his timing and his rhythm down. Try time him coming in with either, counter check hook or uppercut as Shawn Porter tries to close the distance. If I'm Shawn Porter, obviously I think Shawn Porter would be best served to try and get on Terence Crawford's chest. I don't think he can box from range. Shawn Porter, he's an underrated boxer. Like I say, has a underrated jab, got good footwork, in and out movement. He's up and down with both his attack and defense, changing levels both on, like I say, on defense and attack. He he's an underrated boxer. People think he's just a brawler. He's a lot more than a brawler. He can counter punch. He's a pretty smart fighter as well, good IQ. So I think this is a very underrated matchup here. But I think Porter would be best served to try get on the inside, try get on Terence Crawford's chest, try make the fight ugly, try make it physical, see if you can wear down Terence Crawford and try get a stoppage in the late part of the fight, or just try outwork him, smother him on the inside, try make the fight ugly and physical. I think that's what best serves Porter, but I do think Porter is an underrated boxer from the outside, but I don't think he can box with Terence Crawford from the outside. I think Crawford's just, on another level to Porter in terms of boxing from range. Porter, Terence Crawford, in my opinion, he's the more versatile fighter because he can, fight on the inside, the outside as well, but can both, box southpaw or orthodox as well, so he can switch hit. He can be aggressive, he can be defensive in there as well. Very high-level guy. I know a lot of guys have Crawford on the top of the pound-for-pound list. Like I said, I don't have him at the top of the pound-for-pound list, purely just based off of I think his resume is a bit too thin. I know on paper the resume kind of looks good when you see he was a unified 140-pound champ, won belts in 3 different weight classes, but when you really look at the names on his resume, I think it's a bit thin, and I think a lot of the names that he fought were a little bit past their prime when he fought them, such as like Amir Khan, Cal Brook. I think even Gamboa was a bit past his prime. I'd say his best wins on his resume are probably Victor Postal and Mean Machine. I said that in the previous video as well. I think those are his 2 best victories to date. And that's why I think this is, his toughest test on paper so far. Even though, like I say, he beat Cal Brook, who beat Shawn Porter. I think though Cal Brook was past his prime when Terence Crawford fought Cal Brook, and I think at this point Porter's a higher level than that Cal Brook that he fought. So Porter, been fighting the top level competition, been giving everybody a hard night's work. Nobody's beaten him, easily or convincingly, including Earl Spence, Keith Thurman, or Cal Brook. Neither of those guys, in my opinion, beat him like super decisively. A lot of split decision losses, and he's beaten top guys as well, such as Dennis Ugas, which was also a close fight, as well as Danny Garcia, which was another close fight. So whoever Shawn Porter fights, he's going to give a hard night's work. So if Bud Crawford can make this look easy, then you got to give him a lot of credit, and you got to put him head and shoulders above the rest of the welterweight division, including Earl Spence, because Porter fought Spence pre car crash, gave him a hard night's work. If it wasn't for the knockdown, he may have even caused the upset there. So now, Earl Spence post car crash, if Bud can make Porter look easy, or possibly even stop Porter, which hasn't been done yet, I think then you got to even put him head and shoulders above, or just a step above even Earl Spence. Now, I think Porter should come out the fight, should come out the gate, hyper aggressive, start fast like he always does. I'm pretty sure that's what his strategy is going to be to do, is try to come out the gates quickly, try to get a lead in the fight, because we know Terence Crawford, he likes to come out, come out a bit slow, come out cautious, have a look at his opponent, see what the opponent's doing, then try and make adjustments. So I think that's the strategy that Shawn Porter should take in this fight, is to try jump on him early, try hit him and hurt him early, try rough him up early in the fight while Crawford's still a bit vulnerable, because in my opinion, Crawford's vulnerable early in the fights when he's still, trying to analyze his opponents. We've seen him get caught early in fights, get hurt earlier by Gamboa, before he makes adjustments. Even in the Cal Brook fight, I thought he was getting outboxed a little bit early in the fight, getting out jabbed when he was orthodox, but he made the adjustment when Southpaw took Cal Brook's jab away, and the fight was over. He knocked him out. So I think, like I say, Porter should come out fast, try and hurt, or at least gain respect from Crawford, and try win rounds early. Try put a pace on him that make him fight above his normal pace that he's not comfortable fighting at. Turn the the room temperature up. Try wear him down physically, tire him out, test his fitness, test his strength. Try get on the inside, try rough him up, make the fight ugly. Now, Bud, I think he's got to try keep the fight at a distance early. Use his reach, use his movement, see what Porter's doing, and try make adjustments, try get his timing down, then try catch him and counter him when he's coming in. I think it's going to be very important for Shawn Porter to make use of his jab and his feints in this fight. Both his head feints and foot feints, I think, are going to be very important in this fight to try and avoid, letting Terence Crawford get his timing down and, being able to catch him coming in. I think he's got to really keep Crawford guessing as to when he's going to come in, when he's not going to come in. I think it's also important he uses his jab to try blind Crawford on his way in, to try get on the inside. You don't want to just walk in, you get caught, by something, hard on the way in by Terence Crawford, who can definitely punch. And once Crawford gets you hurt, he probably is the best finisher in the sport of boxing at the moment. Can definitely punch, and he's, like I say, probably the best finisher in the sport of boxing. When he smells blood, he goes for the kill. Gervonta Davis, also a good finisher, but I would say Crawford's probably the best finisher in the sport of boxing at the moment. In this fight, though, I think Crawford's also the fresher of the two fighters. I think Shawn Porter's been through a lot, tougher fights. He's been hit a lot more, and he's been hit hard and hit clean by a lot of the biggest punchers in the division. You look at the Garcia fight, you look at the Spence fight, the Thurman fight as well, taking a lot of hard shots, and those were all pretty much wars. So like I said, Crawford's the fresher of the two. I think he has the power advantage in this fight as well. So with me saying, I think Shawn Porter's got to try jump on Terence Crawford early and try hurt him early before he makes his adjustments, and while he's still kind of processing the information from his opponent. I'm not sure Shawn Porter has quite the power to actually hurt or stop Terence Crawford early in the fight. That remains to be seen. I'm not saying Shawn Porter can punch. He has respectable power, but I don't think he's a huge puncher. I think Mean Machine was a bigger puncher than him. We saw he put down Terence Crawford, but he couldn't get the stoppage in that fight. So I think Crawford will be able to, take Shawn Porter's power early in the fight while he's fresh. I think Shawn Porter's best chance is probably a late stoppage if he can physically just wear down and bully and maul Terence Crawford into submission and break him down that way. Because I'm not sure he has that one punch power to be able to catch Crawford early and knock him out like that. I think that is probably the best way to do it against Crawford, is to catch him early, like if you were Manny Pacquiao or something and you could blitz him early. But I'm not sure Porter has the power to do that early in the fight. I think he might have to just physically try grind down Terence Crawford, and hope to break him down that way by being the stronger and maybe fitter man. However, I don't think Shawn Porter is going to be able to really pull that off in this fight, because I think Terence Crawford's going to just have too many tools. I think he's going to have the ability to, hold his own on the inside when Shawn Porter gets on the inside. I think he's also going to be able to tie up Shawn Porter a little bit like Cal Brook did to Shawn Porter back in the day. Take that little trick out of the game plan there, tie him up on the inside. Also, like I say, Crawford can fight on the inside, so I don't think he's going to just get, bullied and absolutely, mauled on the inside like Andre Berto did. He can definitely fight well on the inside. He may even be the better fighter on the inside. We may find that out, on the weekend. But I think he'll definitely be able to hold his own on the inside. And like I said, be able to tie up Shawn Porter like Cal Brook did as well if he needs to. And on the outside, I think he'll be able to outbox Shawn Porter using his reach, his jab, his movement. I think he's going to give Shawn Porter a lot of problems when he starts switching stances. I think we may see him fight a lot of this fight in the southpaw stance. I think that'll give Shawn Porter a lot of problems. I think he'll be able to time Shawn Porter, get his rhythm down, get the timing down, start catching him with hard counters. And I think we may see him catch Shawn Porter coming in either with a check hook or uppercut that hurts Shawn Porter. And if he hurts Shawn Porter, I think he'll be able to finish Shawn Porter. So I think we may be looking at Terence Crawford getting a stoppage here in this fight. If it goes to the decision, though, I think even there, I think Terence Crawford will be able to win the decision just by landing the cleaner, more eye-catching shots. And also, I think defensively better than Shawn Porter. He's not going to be getting hit as much. I think he'll be able to win a close, hard-fought, competitive decision if it goes to the cards. But at the moment, I'm leaning towards thinking Terence Crawford can actually get the stoppage in this fight. I think he'll be able to be the first man to stop Shawn Porter. I think Shawn's been through a lot. He's taken a lot of big shots, been through a lot of wars. And I just think Terence Crawford will be able to, get his timing down, be able to catch him with a, a hard enough counter to get him hurt. And like I say, Crawford, one of the best finishers in the game. I think he'll probably be able to take Shawn Porter out and get the stoppage here, make a statement, and prove that he is at the top of the 147-pound division, which I think that he actually is. He just hasn't had the opponents as of yet in this division to prove that he is the best at 147 at the moment. So I think on the weekend we may see a statement from Terence Crawford. However, I'm not counting Shawn Porter out. He's definitely a live underdog in this fight. Definitely not an easy night's work. Like I said, he's one of the best fighters in the sport at making you fight his style of fight and imposing his game plan on you. I'm sure he's going to try hard to do it, but like I just said, I think Terence Crawford got too many tools in the toolbox. I think he'll be able to, figure out Shawn Porter, get the timing down, land enough hard counters to at some point be able to hurt Shawn with one of the shots. And then I think Terence Crawford will be able to get the finish in this fight. So that's how I see the fight playing out, guys. I think it's going to be a great fight to watch. I think it's going to be very exciting. Let me know in the comment section below how you guys see the fight playing out. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.